Hey guys, Sundown here. This is my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai, or the 7 Deadly Sins 301, Everyone's Feelings. Now, I've got feelings about this chapter which I feel a lot of you won't feel the same about. You feel me? So, yeah, this chapter, I enjoyed reading it, but when I was reading it, I realized exactly what was going on. Well, it's not like it was a secret. It was very clear what was going on, and I did not like. I enjoyed reading through it just from blinding my own opinions, or forgetting my own opinions about the chapter while I was reading it. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty dope. All that good shit. But then I was just thinking at the back of my mind, and as I was reading, I was laughing along to myself. I was like, oh shit, I know what I'm gonna say about this chapter, and it's not good. I like the chapter. I can't rate it. It's not. Personally, I don't think it's a very good chapter. I mean, like the first half, alright, pretty good. But then when we get to the main part at the end, I'm just like, no, why did you go that way, Nakaba? So let's talk about it. So the first scene, let's call it Power of a God. With this first scene, Ban hurls Hawk back at the Sins and informs King and the Sins about his lack of immortality after having brought Elaine back to life. That's the one. And the Demon King whips up a storm after having this kind of little provocation with Ban, very reminiscent of the conditions in Purgatory, forcing King to use Pollen Garden and shield everyone but Ban. Did anyone notice here that King's right hand side wing seemed to disappear? I was like, what the heck is that about? I mean, like, it's either he's weakening and his true form is disappearing because of his lack of power, or he might have just turned at an awkward angle and his wings kind of just converged. I think it might be the convergence. Anyway, King's Pollen Garden seems to hold up pretty well against this storm, although King is having a heart attack holding it up. He's there on the cusp of being drained of his magical power, and he's just about holding up, which is weird in and of itself, because if he's just about holding up, should that really be enough to hold off an attack from the freaking Demon King? You tell me about that. Think about it for a hot second. We have King, who on the verge of being magically drained, is holding up an attack. This is the equivalent of me on my 5th set of squats, heavy squats, going up to whatever a 1 rep max would be for anyone. Let's say a huge guy, someone with stacked quads, 200 kg. So this is their 5th set, and they are just popping out that 200 kg, even though they've done heavy load prior to that. It's not really. I mean, and they're fatigued. They're completely they're almost fully fatigued, and they're just popping out these sets. They're kicking ass. I'm just like, that's the equivalent, because even though he looks tired and he's fatigued, he's still actually holding up his weight. He's still holding off this attack, this storm. So I'm just like, I don't really agree with that either. I'm just gonna shit all over this chapter. Be prepared. So I'm not sure if I like that either. But he holds up against it pretty well. So outside, Ban is completely fine, with the Demon King seemingly unaware that Ban made it through Purgatory for many, many years. I don't understand why the Demon King uses this attack. I'm gonna say it straight. A lot of the time that Ban spent in Purgatory was spent fighting the Demon King alongside Meliodas and alongside Wild. You'd think the Demon King would be aware of an attack like this not harming Ban, because in Purgatory, Ban wasn't being hurt by Purgatory. And if he was being hurt by Purgatory, the Demon King would have noticed, because he would have seen a human melting in Purgatory, and he would have been like, oh, you look like you're not capable of withstanding the environment around here. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you here? But he saw Ban. He saw what he was able to do. He knew who Ban was. He'd fought him a few 100,000 times, I think, or a few thousand times. He knew who Ban was. There's no way he would use an attack which is kind of like a lesser Purgatory and think it would affect Ban when he knows that Purgatory didn't affect Ban after all those years. So that was a stupid thing to start off with, if the Demon King has any form of intelligence. So the Demon King tries to Iron Spider Ban. His kind of tentacle things come over and try and stab through Ban, like Dr. Octopus, Iron Spider, any QB style, anything with extra limbs. And this starts a fight between the two of them, which actually results in them both damaging each other slightly, which was dope. The Demon King bloodied around the mouth, and Ban looking like he really felt the last couple hits. And it was dope from like just a reading perspective. But when you look at it again and you like think about the differences in power that there should be between the Demon King and Ban. Think about it for not even a hot second. Just think about it for a real second, a second. My issue here, should Ban really be able to stand up to the Demon King solo? Which is what he was doing. He was keeping up. He hit the Demon King, bloodied him and everything. I mean, looking back on it, like upon second read, Ban looks like he was on the verge of struggling. You see him sweating at the end, whilst the Demon King looked like he was just about starting to enjoy himself. He's bloodied, but he's there and he's like hype. He's like, yeah, this is dope. This is awesome. I'm ready. But Ban, like I said, he's sweating. He looks fatigued. He's looking away, and he's bent over in pain as if that last shot really hurt him. However, Ban in Purgatory, like I said, was never even close to having been able to solo the Demon King in Purgatory. So why is he able to fight him 1v1 now? That's my big issue with this part. I'm just like in Purgatory you were barely able to stand up to the guy by your onesies. Now you're fighting him by your ones, and this is like a Demon King with a young body and everything like that. He's saying he feels fresh, he feels awesome. He's got the 10 Commandments back, so he should be at like 100% power or some shit, unless he's 50-50. But he's not. His soul isn't in Purgatory, by the way, or anything stupid like that. He's entirely there. I think he's entirely there, and I'll come back to that. But like I said, upon rereading the chapter, Ban does look like he was on the struggle. So solo victory wasn't looking very likely, but I don't know, just the fact that they seemed so even didn't really sit well with me. But like I said, Ban does look like he was on the struggle. So we go to the part of the chapter I have an active distaste for. But here we go. And this part of the chapter I've named Fairy Tale, for obvious reasons. The Demon King leans over in pain as Ban retorts to his, "You would try to fight me alone," with, "I'm not alone." Or, very, very wrath-like from Darksiders, "No, not alone." I was like, okay, cool, like what was going down? So Elizabeth and the Sins then feel like a familiar power. Oh my god, I feel this strange sensation as we see Meliodas battling the soul/spirit of the Demon King with his own soul/spirit within the Demon King's body, which is actually Meliodas' body. Now, I said on live stream I would really hate for this exact situation to happen. Like I was joking about how this kind of situation could happen. Oh, maybe we have like Meliodas fighting the soul and Ban fighting the body or something like that, like the physical body. Or I mentioned something along those lines. I'm not sure if I specified Ban and Meliodas doing it in bits and pieces, but I never in a million years thought that this situation was really going to occur, and it has. So fighting a physical and spiritual body at the same time, this is such a letdown for me, and I can't even really explain why. I just do not like this idea. I do not like this plot point, and it was the final plot point in Fairy Tale versus Acnologia, and it was lame. It butchered the story. It was horrifying. I mean, like, Fairy Tale was already at the end of its, like, it was already dead by that point. It was horrible by that point. But it just made it even worse. Like how bad a writer could Hiro Mashima become was kind of the running meme. Like how bad could you actually make it? And then when that happened, people were like, "Yo, this guy is stupid. This guy is fully crazy for having an Acnologia storyline like that." And the plot point where he's like fighting his spirit and then they're fighting his body, that was shit. Now the fact that Nakaba's doing it, I'm really disappointed. And it's not to say that Nakaba can't make better use of it, but the idea itself is, one, unoriginal, and two, just not that good in my opinion. I do not like this development in the story, and obviously a lot of you will say it's Nakaba's story to tell, let him tell it, stop shitting on it. But as a reader, I just don't like the direction. That's what the point of an opinion is. But it feels like a lazy way out for me. Any damage the Demon King takes in his spirit form, he feels in his physical form. At least that's what we see right now, though he did seem to clutch at his ribs, and I swear the Demon King got hit in the face. I'm not sure. Now, seeing as Meliodas has already displayed the ability to lop off the Demon King's limbs, this fight is not looking to be in the Demon King's favor at all. I enjoy the concept of having a battle on two fronts, but this is just the Demon King getting gangbanged at this point. When Ban is in a pinch, Meliodas will slap the Demon King's soul or some shit like that, hurting the physical Demon King, and then he'll flinch or some shit, and then Ban will then proceed to just kick the physical Demon King in the nuts, downing him and going to Pound Town on his ass. I'm just like, I don't dig that. I don't roll with that. That's not something I approve of. This is not halal. So what this essentially relies on, I think, is Meliodas' performance in their little soul world, seeing as Ban seems to have been struggling, which means that Ban gets to fight a Demon King who is constantly feeling the pain from his soul. Now, I would have preferred, just an idea, I would have preferred some method of having Ban and Meliodas physically tag teaming and beating down on Daddy Demon King. Now, this way, the way that Nakaba's chosen to take it, I'm going to say it again, it feels cheap. It feels like we've got a 2 for the price of 1 kind of deal, when all I really wanted was a quality 1. It's a quantity over quality kind of thing, and I felt like a good quality duo fight against Demon King, where we get to see the best of buddies open a can of whoop ass on the guy that's been tormenting Meliodas for like over 3,000 years. I was ready for them both to be in the same location, tag team against this guy, kick his ass, whoop the shit out of him, and just be happy about it. Like, not be happy about it, be serious about it, but get ready for that awesome fight. There's more to it than I can than just that, but I can't really bring to words why I hate this plot device so fiercely. It just feels really cheap, as if neither Meliodas nor Ban will be getting the top-notch fight we're looking for. And obviously, I mean, like, just reading through the mainstream comments, nobody seemed to have an issue with it. Every comment I read was almost essentially, this is going to be dope, this is something I've been looking forward to, this fight looks like it's going to be hype. And I'm just like, you know what, the fight might be hype, but I can't agree with you. I don't like the way the story has gone. Can this turn out pretty decent? It could, but at the moment, I'm sticking to the comments I made in the podcast. This fairy tale shit is not good enough. It's a used plot device which cheapens the fight for both Meliodas and Ban. Possibly more for Ban, because we're unsure if physical damage translates to the damage of the soul. And I know that the Demon King, by the way, he's not in purgatory because he has both arms. So, you know, I mean, like, I'm not sure if that actually suggests he's not in purgatory or not. But the fact that he seems to have both arms anyway, which I think suggests that it's the spirit of the Demon King who's currently in Meliodas' body, because then that would be, you know, the Demon King has a full body, he has both his arms, and then obviously internally he would have both arms as well. Even though technically, I mean, like, if this was like some Naruto shit, then technically he shouldn't have his left arm working like Orochimaru. But that's a story for another time. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. A lot of you will probably hate on this review, but I'm just letting out my opinions. I'm letting them be known. I think Grimm might have a slightly similar opinion. I think I'm not sure where he's going to go with this. I haven't spoken to him about it fully yet. Could Nakaba go ahead and turn this around in the next couple chapters? In the next chapter, yes, he could easily do that. Nakaba could flip this on its head, make this entire review make it worthless, feel like shit. But I feel like I had to make this review no matter which way we go, because I called it out in the podcast. I stated my feelings and I was like, it can't go this way, it best not go this way, I hope it doesn't go this way. If it does go that way, I will speak out against it because I don't like it. So that's the primary objective of this review, is just confirming that I've stuck to my guns. And I do not like that plot point. The fighting a spiritual body whilst fighting his physical body as well. 2 different fights. A fight on 2 fronts essentially, but not really. It's like you've got the same guy essentially, but he's taking damage one way or another from... Well, he's taking damage 2 ways from one body, possibly 1 way from another. And it's like a tag team without a tag team. And I feel like that's just... Give us the damn tag team, you know? It's like, it would have been so much easier to just give us the damn tag team. Have a reason for pulling Meliodas out of there or something like that. You have Zoldris there. Make him a vessel or some shit. Let Meliodas freaking possess him or some shit like that. And then go fight the Demon King. I do not like it. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in a bit.